Rohan's Corner, working overtime, recording fine, that's just prime. Super reviews, which will neutralize Hasbro's wave of crimes. Magic Square to the rescue, and New Age has got such super paintwork. Rohan is the mighty power that can save the day. Rohan, no one knows what lies behind his wall of fame. Rohan, always riding hard on Hasbro's trail. Come see the memes he plays every Friday.
Hey there guys, welcome back to Rohan's Corner. What a well-written week we've had. So many reveals from the Generations line, from the Rise of the Beast movie, and I don't know what you thought, but I thought they were a little bit disappointing. Too much Wheeljack, not enough action! And that's because we only got shrapnel. Everything else was obviously already revealed, and it would be nice to see new things coming through rather than just see what we've already seen. Of course, at the same time, I'd like to see more of the leaders and the titans and whatever they haven't shown so far. They're keeping a lot close to their chest. Seems like they've shown us Wave 2 and 3 Voyagers and the core class, and that's about it. And that's a bit strange because you would expect to see a little bit more in the sense of the leaders and specifically the Titan, because obviously, and the Commander class, because they are going to be big sellers throughout the line, hopefully, and keep it going. Now, with regards to Rise of the Beast, I thought it was really interesting. I don't know how you felt about it, but some of the pictures that came out, they were ridiculously weird. We had some animal-based target masters, which looked pretty cool for the most part. There was a Rhinox and a Cheetor and a Tigertron and some sort of wolf-type character as well, and they all looked pretty cool. Although Tigertron's head did seem to disappear off of his body, which was a bit and a lot of people were mentioning about Rhinox's being a butt gun. But anywho, the other thing that really was a bit weird was the combiners that they have shown. These little sort of, can we call them core class or maybe deluxe class figures that are combining the G1 or, Bayverse type characters with the Beast characters to combine into kind of dual bots, one being the legs and one being the top end. It's reminiscent of the Armada and Energon combiners that we had, where two deluxes or two Voyagers would combine together to merge their powers. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know how you feel about it. I think it's a bit weird. It's one way to integrate the Beast into the storyline, don't get me wrong, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how that works. And also, Bumblebee having some sort of bird in his chest, that's really weird. But again, I think it comes back into that same story arc. Another thing this week, Kapow put out about pre-orders. No more pre-orders from Kapow. And I've been talking about this forever, because when pre-orders first came out, I thought, great, this is a good idea. Finally, we're going to get the ability to actually order our ridiculously hard to get exclusive figures which come out in those stupid little stores in America, Target or Walgreens or whatever may be the case, that we barely get over here. But now with Pulse coming over and with all the indies getting import stock, it seems to be the case that we're not really missing out on anything. At least we haven't done in the last 2 years. So now pre-orders are just becoming a hindrance. I mean, you pre-order with a retailer, they go out of business. We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 different retailers in the past 6 months where people have had significant issues or they have disappeared altogether. And we've discussed this already, so I'm not going to go back over old ground, but this is causing a problem. And so for me, I stopped pre-ordering a year ago and figured that, well, in combination with the fact that 1, you have to choose a retailer who you can trust. 2, when the bloody figure comes out a month later, it's out on sale in clearance at game for less than 50% of the price. What is the point of pre-ordering the figure? It makes no sense. So I think along those same lines that we talked about earlier with the reveals of the characters and the toys, I'm going to just go down the line of pre-orders for Hasbro if it is absolutely essential. But to be honest with you, nothing is right now. Everything's going to get through to clearance at some stage. Thanks to Mr. Chris Cox, I keep saying it, but everything's going to go down to clearance. And so especially those higher value bots. Not necessarily all the deluxes, but certainly Wave 1 and Wave 2, we've seen that in Legacy, and we've seen it in Kingdom, and we've seen it in Earthrise. We have also seen majority of the Voyagers, majority of the Leaders, pretty much all the Commander class, and pretty much most of the Titans after Omega Supreme, maybe Scorpiock, have all gone down in value after they've come out. So contrary to 3P, where they don't show you a lot up front, and in fact we are sitting wondering what are they going to bring out next, and you get that special surprise moment where it's like, hey, Gears and Windcharger are coming, hey, Jetvire's coming, hey, the Stunticons are coming. It's cool, but at the same time, Hasbro are just screwing it up a little bit. I know I say it every week and I complain about Hasbro. They do some things really well and some of the new figures look really good, but some of the tactics and strategy they're using is just not working for us as the buyers. And so I applaud Kapow in the way in which they're taking off pre-orders. And we should actually applaud Smiths as well, because Smiths have been doing this for some time. As a bricks and mortar store, I know it's different to Kapow or Online Essence. They have not had pre-orders for any of their bots for ages, so it makes sense and it works. The only thing is, I find that the stalwarts, the long-time loyal Hasbro guys who always buy everything on pre-order, will have done their pre-orders elsewhere, and those retailers will then lose out on their business because they don't have the ability to take their money up front. And it's a bit of a chicken and egg scenario. I personally prefer the latter, but hey ho, let's see how it goes. As long as we don't go back to the old ways of exclusives becoming really difficult to find, then that will be a problem. And a couple of other things this week I've been thinking about. Who is the best evil character, human character from the Transformers cartoon series or comic series? I'd like to find out what your thoughts are. I mean, we've got Dr. Arkeville, Sean Berger, we've got the Cobra Commander, we've got Dirk Mannis. Is he good? Is he bad? We've got several others who turn up in the final Rebirth series, who I guess you could call the Nebulons human characters because they are human form, but they're not really humans. And then in the comics, there's a plethora of characters that you can choose from. I'd really like to hear your thoughts. And also, would anybody be interested to see a video comparing Dr. Arkeville and Dr. Braxis of the Gobots series to see which one was more insane, which one was more evil, which one had the worst way of doing things, which one was brainier? I think that would be a cool comparison, so I may do that if there's enough interest. Right then, finally, to finish off this week's episode, just as I promised last week, we are going to do the next page from Dinobot War, and at the end of the first page, most people chose page 3. If you try to sneak past the barrier, turn to page 3. So we're turning to page 3. I will put a picture up of the demographic, the illustration, for you to see. Hey kid, you jump as the guard's loud voice blares in your ear. You try to dash for a bit, but he grabs your arm. This area's off limits, he tells you. You can't go past this point. You are determined to get a sneak preview of the new attraction and to find out what's so mysterious that they have put a barrier up. What will you tell the guard? Here are your two choices. Will you tell him that you are a messenger with important papers to deliver? If so, please comment page 11. Or will you tell him that your father is a Disney executive and is supervising the new attraction? If so, comment page 12. So, page 11 if you want to say you're a messenger with papers, and page 12 if you want to lie and say that your father is a Disney executive. I guess they're both lies. But anyway, we shall see what happens. Anywho, for another week, I've been Rohan on Rohan's Corner. Join me again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye. Back to the studio.
Transformers, Rohan's in disguise.